You know, it's real interesting how you have a situation where, you have a particular state, and then, the people that are native there, they're living, they're living their life and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you have like a whole bunch of transplant people go there, right? I mean, they're there in the droves and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, like their cost of living goes up skyrocket high. Like it just gets way out of hand. And so that's going to be rough on the people that were already like natives there, or maybe some people that might have not been native there, but let's say they might have moved there, 10, 15 years, 20 years, prior to a massive amount of like transplant people moving to that state. That's a big change for people that were already in that state before the transplant folks. Okay, that's a big deal. But another thing that's really crazy is, you have a lot of transplant people that want to go to, to a new state. They transplant over there, and then they got the damn nerve to be talking trash about the state that they just transplanted off into. They want to sit up there and talk crap about the food that's in the state they transplanted to, the state they moved to. They want to talk about the food. They probably want to talk about the fashion, you know, talk crap about, the sports teams and all that stuff, talk about the nightclubs they hitting and all that. And then, it's like, then someone go to the extent where they like, back where I came from, such and such is better than this where I just moved to. It's like, well, maybe you need to go back where the hell you came from. If everything where you just moved to is just subpar as shit, like maybe you need to take your happy ass back where you came from and get yourself financially stable, so you ain't got to be in this state that you transplanted to where everything just ain't up to par, or where it's a number of things that ain't up to par. You know, it's like the nerve of some of these folks, man. I'm not saying every last one of them do that, but like it's the nerve of some of these folks. Like I went somewhere, like one time I was riding the bus, and this guy, because my car was in the shop, and this guy was like talking about, oh yeah, I'm trying to get to such and such, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you not know what I said? But then later on, I found out like he wasn't from the state that I'm in. And he was like, yeah, man, I got the best driver's license from such and such state, because, the streets where he currently live at, where he transplanted to, these streets is all wide and stuff, but back where I'm from, the streets is all tight and all that stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I almost said some shit, but I held my tongue because I was getting pretty heated about that, you know. And I didn't want it to escalate, get crazy. I said, I'm just going to try to chill. But I was thinking to myself, because he was talking to the bus driver trying to say all this stuff, you know. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, man? Like, if you that good of a damn driver, maybe you need to go drive your ass back where you came from and go drive over there, you know? So, I mean, you got a lot of folks, man, that go somewhere and just and like I said, you move to the state. It's like you going to somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's like you go into their house. If you seeing a bunch of off the wall stuff, it's like you going in there at somebody's house. You talking about, well, I don't, this painting is stupid. I don't like the way that the style of that couch is. That couch is trash, and it might have been a couch that like was passed down to you from like a family member before they passed away. Then they go outside, look in your backyard area. They say yo barbecue grill is subpar and stuff like that. And it's like you just got done, grilling some burgers on it, but it's subpar. It's like, man, it's like what the hell, man? Like what the hell? It's that's why I be saying like it's like, hey man, like if you dislike so much stuff, it's like maybe you need to go back where you're from. So like that's my thing with it. Like I said, and not every transplant person is like that, but you got quite a bit of them that are. But um, that's my whole rant on that right there. So like I said, I just think some people, hey man, if what's in that state you moved to, if it's a bunch of that stuff is subpar, maybe you need to go back where you came from. But and go help ease up some of that cost of living that got affected by you and a whole bunch of other people that moved out to that area. But that's my take on it.